Alright, good morning fellow traders. This is Pete Soros, and today we're going to be talking about the Aussie US dollar. It is Wednesday, August 17th, just around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's go ahead here and jump in this 4-hour compression of the Aussie US dollar pair. First off, what I want to do on my 4-hour compression is I want to attempt to trend this market. Ultimately, we can see here that in the short-term time frame, this market is looking like it is in an uptrend. So what I want to do is attempt to trend this and see, can I find anything happening. Now when I'm trending, I'm not looking to be inclusive of all points. What I'm looking for is what stands out to me and what makes sense. And when I look at this point down here, it is not something I want to be interested in because it is the bottom of the self that occurs. So I want to look for a more stable point of support. And remember, you're always attaching your trend to a support and a resistance. So I've attached my support to the bottom, and now what I need to do is get my top to a resistance point, and I can see that this resistance point right here is making perfect sense. So what we can see here right now, what we have accomplished is we have accomplished a trend north on the Aussie dollar. We have proved that this market is now an uptrend because we can see the higher lows that are occurring in this marketplace. And now what we can also see is that we have higher highs coming in here in the pair. So what we want to do is continue to build our technical analysis on this and see if we can find an opportunity here to go long on this pair and also find our targets. What's most important when trending the market is to make sure that you have respect of the top and bottom of the trend wall, but also you can verify that by looking for respect of the heart line. So you can see here that this market definitely knew where the heart line was there, and you can also see the bottom respect here and the top respect. Now, we have not traded into the top quadrant of the Aussie dollar yet, which we anticipate because we anticipate that the top is broken on a breakout movement, and then we'll look for further targets north. So let's go ahead here and try to get targets on this pair. First thing we want to do is we want to take this down to the 1-hour compression, and we want to look for the movement, the initial movement that started this entire movement north, and see, do we have any respect of the Fibo target. So you can see that here is the bottom to the top. Now, despite the fact that this is not part of the market that I trended, we can see that if we continue, we just had a hook out and then the reversal came in. So this is definitely a clear initial movement. Okay, we can see that there's a beautiful retracement here. Nice clear respect. Most likely looks like a 50% retracement. So let's just go ahead here and grab our Fibos so we can have our targets for this current setup. Okay, and now we can see those targets, and there was that 50% retracement we talked about. I'm just going to move these over a bit so they extend further. Now, let's just go ahead here very quickly and take it back to the 4 hours so we can see what is going on in respect to the Fibo targets. Now, what we can see here is that this market, upon taking out its initial movement, pulled back for retracement of the 5-0 retracement. From there, we had 270 respect, pullback, and from here we can see that this market has stopped dead on diamond at 786. And what we have sitting up above is this 1.270 Fibo target, which acts as our final target in the marketplace. Now let's go ahead here and see, can we have an overlap of PSR sitting up above at those levels. So we want to go to our last uptrend in that area, and we can see that this is definitely an uptrend, and these are the areas that we're currently trading in. So what we want to do is grab our supports from this. We can see a support right here. We have another one right here, and let's see, and now up above we do not have any further PSR. So we want to now go and see, do we have any overlap, confluence of events at these two PSR levels that we have targeted, and if so, then we will start to build further opportunity here to go long on this pair. And what we can see here is that we have the 1270 Fibo within a very tight range of that 240 PSR coming at the 106.90 price level. Okay, and we'll just take this down to that 1-hour compression. What we can see is that is a very tight area right there within just around 10 to 15 pips. So this has now become our overall target. The 1.270 coming in at 106.67 is the overall target for the opportunity that we're going to look for to take this market long. Now, what we can see here, when taking this down to smaller compression, let's just start with the 15. We want to see what is happening in the current marketplace. Okay, what we can see is that off of this bottom of the trend wall, we can see that this market has created a very nice movement to the 105.80 area. So now we're already seeing a turnaround here in this marketplace. So a great trade here would be to take this market long up above the 105.85 price level, looking for that 106.70 target, okay, and placing your stop below the last area of support. So at 105.53 is where you would want to place your stop on that trade, okay. Now you could have taken a more aggressive opportunity and gotten in at this point, which I've done with a scout trade, okay, because right when we see that turnaround, especially at this time, we're right at the 9:15 hour, we anticipate that this market is going to follow through with its true direction for the remainder of the New York session. So just taking it all back once again, the reason we are looking to go long on this pair is for the reason that we have seen initial movement, okay. We have seen respect to the 270, a pullback, respect to the 786 pullback, and now what we have is that 1270 overlapping that area right at the 106.70 price level, which is also a 240 PSR coming in at 106.90, okay. And what we can anticipate is that this market will definitely take out this area, okay. Then potentially we'll see a pullback and we'll see it run into that PSR sitting at the 107.90, which is overlapping that heart line. You can see if the market follows this timetable, and given that it is Wednesday, it would be very nice to see this market today take out that 106.90, pull back to the trend wall, and from here, once we see a bounce, we would take it here on Friday up to that 107.90 price level. So we can definitely have a realistic grasp on what is happening here on the Aussie dollar. So that's what we have today, folks, here on this pair. And furthermore, what I want to point out is an opportunity that may come back on a pullback if the market does not breach this high that it had here at the 105.80 price level. We're within 10 pips of that high, so we're most likely going to see a breach. But if it doesn't, what we're going to look for is for this market to potentially come back to this area here at the 105.25. And the reason why I say that is because this was previous resistance in the marketplace. When the market surpasses that resistance, what it does is acts and uses it as support. Okay, now when we take it down to the smaller compression, we can see that we had this already happen. Okay, and you can see, look how interesting it is. The market stopped right at this point, pulled up above it. Okay, and what we had here was a pennant form, and from this pennant we saw the market take off and explode. So that's why what we anticipate is we're just seeing a small pullback here, and that we're good to go once again. That is why we don't necessarily anticipate the 105.26. Okay, so best thing to do, once again, 105.80, have an entry order in to go long on the Aussie USD for that 106.70 price level. Stop at the 105.50, so you're looking at a great 1 to 3 minimum risk reward ratio on the setup. So with that said, folks, hope you enjoy that. We'll talk to you again soon. Until next time, good luck and happy trading.